my name is Gina Edge and I'm a postural alignment specialist. I own a business called Pain Free Posture Oregon. Postural alignment therapy is designed to create as much symmetry in the body as possible through specifically designed exercises and stretches to promote proper postural alignment and encourage muscle balancing in the body. One of the modalities that I practice is called the Egoscue method. You can read more about it by going to their website, egoscue.com, spelled E-G-O-S-C-U-E. The thing that I really love about the Egoscue method is that they're easy to do exercises at home that are highly effective for both the sedentary population and the more athletic population. So today I'm going to guide you through a series of exercises that I might typically give a client coming in with either acute or chronic low back pain. So all you're going to need at home is going to be a folding chair or a couch, something to put your legs up on, a mat, some kind of 4-inch block like a yoga block, or you can just use a rolled towel, and a step. If you have a staircase or a stepping stool at home, that will work. I'm going to have you start by lying on your back, placing your legs up on the chair and scooting your hips all the way forward so that you have a 90-degree angle at the hips and at the knees. If you're back here, it's not going to be as effective, so make sure you scoot far enough forward so that you're at that 90-degree angle. You're going to have your arms out to a 45-degree angle with your palms facing up. Really try to relax your shoulders, and as you get in this position, check in with your body and notice if you have more pressure, perhaps under one hip, or more pressure under one shoulder blade. That's often indicative of an asymmetry in the body. You might notice that there's a large arch under your low back if your spinal extensors are locked up. As you hold this position, your spine will start to passively relax and everything should start to settle into the floor. I'm going to have you start with an abdominal breathing exercise. So you're going to inhale in through your nose, and you want to fill up the back of your rib cage. Try to feel your ribs pressing into the mat. And you're going to exhale through pursed lips like you're blowing out into a balloon. And as you exhale, you want to think about your rib cage dropping down toward your feet, coming in together and back toward the spine, and then your navel will come in and up. So everything's coming together towards your navel. You're going to inhale in through your nose, exhale through pursed lips, pull in with the navel, and you're going to pause 3, 2, 1 after all the air is exhaled. Again, inhale in through your nose, exhale through pursed lips, pull in with the navel, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go 8 more breaths like that. Really relax the shoulder blades. Feel the ribs pressing into the mat. Exhale. All the air out. Pull in and up, feeling your lower core muscles engaging. In through the nose. Long, slow exhale, getting out every last ounce of oxygen. Pulling in, dropping down with the ribs. And continue this breathing sequence. Counting to yourself for 3 counts after all the air is out. If you don't feel your abdominals, muscles engaging, pull in harder with the navel. 2 more breaths. And last one. Next, we're going to do reverse presses. I'm going to have you bring your elbows out to shoulder level at a 90-degree angle. Make light fists with the hands and point your thumbs inward towards you. You're going to keep your ribs dropping down and in. Don't arch your back. And you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades diagonally down and together for 1 count and release. So you'll feel your armpits pressing down and in and your elbows pressing into the floor. but the movement is initiated by your shoulder girdles squeezing together and down. We're going 20 repetitions here. Make sure you hold for 1, 1,000 and release, and 2, 1,000 and release. If you notice that one shoulder blade is more active than the other, try to focus your mind on the side that doesn't feel like it's engaging as much. Let's go 5 more. Make sure your shoulders are really coming back and down and they're not popping forward as you squeeze those shoulder blades toward the spine. Good, now we're going to do pullovers. I'm going to have you bring your arms straight up overhead and interlace your fingers. You're going to drop your shoulders down toward the floor, pull in with your navel, tuck your ribs down so that your back is not arching again on this one. And you're going to allow the arms to come overhead to your comfortable range of motion, so don't strain anything, and back up. And let's get the breath involved and exhale as the arms come overhead. And inhale up. We're going to go 15 repetitions here. So we're really putting the shoulder girdle through its full range of motion, and we're also stretching out the lat muscles right under the armpits. When the lats tighten up, it's going to tighten up the low back because the fascia innervates the lumbar fascia. Let's go 5 more. Check in with your rib cage. Make sure it's staying tucked. Keep your shoulders dropping down toward the floor. Good. At home, you can do one more set of that sequence of 3 exercises. Next, I'm going to have you stand on up and find that step. And then you want something to hold on to. You can hold on to the wall. If you have something in front of you to hold on to, that will work too. You're going to step up on the step, and you want your feet to be 6 inches apart and your toes pointed straight ahead. It's going to feel kind of counterintuitive. Most people get up here and their toes are pointed out because most people have that everted foot position. So keep looking down at your toes and make sure they don't start to creep out to the sides as you hold this stretch. You're going to walk back until it's just the balls of your feet up on the step. Drop the heels down. You're going to tighten your thigh muscles, pull in with your navel, and tuck your pelvis under so that we're not allowing that back to arch too much. So we're just protecting the back by tightening the core, tucking under with the pelvis, and we're keeping the quads tight to really get into that stretch in the calves. From here, make sure that you're not leaning forward. We want the ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle to be all lined up on a vertical plane. So it might even feel like you're falling over backwards when you're actually in vertical alignment. This is a really great one to release that whole line of fascia that goes from the bottom of the foot all the way up to the forehead. So we are releasing the low back, even though this feels like just a calf stretch. At home, I'm going to have you hold for 3 minutes. So set a timer. And then when you step off, you should feel like you're really in your heels, and that's what we want. So the more you are in your heels, the less work your low back has to do in order to keep you functioning properly. So next you're going to lie on your back again. I want your feet to be 6 inches apart, and we want the little block right between your knees. Make sure your toes are pointed straight ahead and not out to the sides, and they're even. You're going to lie back. You want your arms to be at a 45-degree angle, palms facing up, and all you're going to do is squeeze your knees in on the block for 1 count and release. So hold for a full count, 1, 1,000, and release. We're going to go 20 repetitions of this. Again, make sure that both sides are being activated evenly. So if you feel like one side is working harder than the other, focus your mind on the side that's not working as hard and try to wake it up a little bit. Make sure your shoulders stay relaxed and they don't start coming up and forward. Sometimes our upper body tries to help out when we're working lower body muscles. Let's go 5 more. Good. Then you're going to lose the block, and we're going to do gluteal contractions. All you're doing for this one is squeezing your gluteal muscles together and then releasing, and your pelvis will perform this little rocking motion naturally as you do that. Just let that happen naturally. If you don't feel like your gluteal muscles are able to contract at all, then I'm going to have you just try lifting your hips up a little bit toward the ceiling. That will inevitably engage your glute muscles. Come back down and see if you can then activate them in isolation like this. So we're zeroing in on those gluteal muscles, and the stronger these muscles are, the less the low back has to work. Let's go 10 more. Same thing goes with this one. If one side's not working and not kicking in, focus on it, try to fire it. This is a mental exercise as much as a physical exercise. Good. So for the hook lying pillow squeezes and gluteal contractions, you can do 20 repetitions of 3 sets each. Lastly, you're going to find a wall, and we're going to do the air bench. So you're going to bring your back up against the wall, and you're going to walk your feet forward pretty far, further than you might think, so that as you slide your hips down the wall, the heels are directly under the knees. You want your toes pointed straight ahead and even. Make sure your toes aren't out to the side. We want the kneecap directly over the second and third toe. Again, so they're not collapsing in or out to the side. And you want to bring your low back all the way flat against the wall. So make sure your whole spine is flush against the wall. However, if your head is naturally forward like this, I don't want you to strain your neck to press your head back. So just let your head and shoulder girdle be wherever they naturally are. The most important part of this exercise is that you want to stay in the heels of your feet. So the second your weight shifts forward into the balls of the feet, that's going to strain the knees too much. So stay in your heels, keep breathing. And this is just a hold to fatigue exercise. So if you can get to 30 seconds today, great. Work up to a minute and eventually work up to 2 whole minutes. If coming down this low, and I'm at about a 105-degree angle here, if that's too hard, just start up a little higher on the wall. So this is fine. You want to make sure you can at least hold for 30 seconds. So this makes it quite a bit easier on the legs when your hips are higher up on the wall. And then when you come on out of it, push through your heels, shake the body out, and notice if your back doesn't feel a little looser and a little happier. So I'm available for telemedicine video sessions. If you're interested in that, email me at Gina, Gina, at painfreepostureoregon.com. And this will allow you to get an hour-long video session with me where you'll get an in-depth analysis of your posture and your gait, and you'll get a specifically catered routine of exercises and stretches designed for your particular set of dysfunctions. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.